What is up guys, welcome to another video, and today we are here for another StraightUpHippo. So this setup probably looks a bit different. You can see there's a new wall behind me. Basically I'm at home. Essentially I've got some fun stuff planned over the weekend and I'm not actually able to access my setup, so I thought why not go ahead and do an StraightUpHippo. This was planned for a while now. I actually was planning to do this a few days ago, but it kind of fits perfectly with my schedule, so I can edit it on the go and upload it on the go, so you guys have a video for today. Right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get straight into the first question. Okay, so the first question comes from Ben Hansen, and his question is, what would you think of a Need for Speed Most Wanted or Underground remaster sometime soon? Now this is a weird one. This is a really weird one. You'd think with them being my favorite games, I would really want to see a remaster, but honestly, I really don't. It's one of the scenarios. It honestly depends on who's making the game. If it's Ghost and they're remastering Most Wanted or Underground, no. No. Put all your efforts and all your work into making the next Need for Speed game good. As much as I adore Underground and Most Wanted and all those other games that, you know, Black Box made back in the day, I've put months of playtime into those games. I would much rather see something new. So if it was Ghost who was working on the next remaster for a Need for Speed game, that would be a no from me. You know, we've already played those games before. Personally, I would like it if Ghost actually made something brand new and kind of focus on something else instead of doing a remaster. On the flip side, if they hired someone else to go ahead and do a Need for Speed Master, would I mind too much? No, not really. But again, it's one of those things, like, I would much rather have the extra men work or women work on a new game than an old game. That's basically it. It would be kind of cool to play Most Wanted online and play, you know, Underground online, because I never really got to do that in its prime. I did it afterwards using, you know, Game Ranger and other like forms of ways you can do it on PC, but I never really played it in its prime. So to be able to play online in its prime will be really cool. The next question comes from, am I out of focus? I actually can't even tell if I'm out of focus right now. The next question comes from GTR Drifter, and his question is, why is Horizon 3 so shit? Right, I'm going to talk about this because I haven't had a chance to talk about this and I kind of want to. I haven't played Horizon 3 in months. I haven't gone on that game to play by myself in months. That is not an exaggeration. A lot of people will like exaggerate about how long they spend on certain games. I have genuinely not gone in Horizon in a month, and I think this is the reason why. I loved Horizon 1. I played a lot of Horizon 1. Horizon 2 was a very good game. I played a lot of Horizon 2. The issue with Horizon 3 is it is Horizon 2 with more. Now you could argue that is every other racing game sequel, you know, that is what they are. But I played a lot of Horizon 1 and I was still able to play Horizon 2 because there was major differences in those games. I played Rivals and then was able to play 2015. I played Underground, then could play Underground 2 and Most Wanted. There's not enough difference. Between all the games I've mentioned, there is still major differences between all those games. Horizon doesn't have that. Minus a few extra wide bodies, minus, you know, Forza blueprint mode, and a few of the little things. There's really not much new added to Horizon. Granted, we've got, you know, all these like drift skill events which have appeared in every other racing game in the past 2 years. There's a bit too little, a bit too late for me. I understand if Horizon's your first game, your first Forza game, and I can understand how you can have fun if it's your first Horizon game especially, but for someone like me who's played FH1 and FH2 like to the death, I still play Horizon 1 now. I can't really say that like it just tickles my fancy. Is it shit? No, it's nowhere near. But is it personally what I want from gaming? No, not really. The next question comes from Harry, and his question is, how would you describe yourself as a driver in real life? Any gaming habits that have accidentally carried over to your real life driving? Oh god. I want to say no. But when you play Need for Speed for 10 years, there's going to be some things which carry over. Right, so any gaming things which carry over. Okay, well for sure, I'm a bit bad with speed. Dad, if you're watching this again, that was a joke. Yeah, especially in my lessons and my tests. Like, oh god. I'll tell you a quick story about what I did in one of my lessons. It's not really doing the guy justice who I had lessons with, but you know what, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to say I failed my first test. Bullshit on the second test. I've talked about this already. Sorry to get so angry. And I was going on the third test. And it was the prep for the third test. and I was going down a main road. If you don't know what a main road is, just like a normal one-way, well, two-way road. You know, you got one traffic going that way, another traffic coming that way. And it's quite a long road, quite a long stretch of road. And on the road I was on, there's a lot of speed cameras. Little did I know that I was going a bit over the speed limit. So I was looking in front of me because there was a collision in front of me. So I'm like, what is going on? I can't really see. I didn't realise I had my foot planted to the ground. That was a bad idea. Little did I realise that I allegedly, I may or may not have been doing 55 in a 30. Allegedly. So I'm allegedly doing these speeds. I see a speed camera like right in my left corner of my eye. I'm like, shit, I fucked up. I slam on the brakes. I slam on the brakes like you don't even realise. I could have caused an accident. It was that bad. I slammed on the brakes. Luckily, I got it down to something like just above 30, like 30, 40. And the cameras didn't flash. But I kid you not, for the rest of like the time I was in a car with that guy, I did not go over the speed limit. I was actually like, I was completely shaken by that event. Imagine how awkward it would have been if I got points on my license, but before I even got my license. That would have been awful. And then in my test, I did get a few minors for speeding, and I think in my first one, I got a few minors for speeding as well. But I passed with 3 minors and no majors, so obviously that's like pretty good. The next question comes from Ryan, and his question is, do you ever think we're gonna ever see another MMO Need for Speed game? Right, so I know currently there's a thing called Need for Speed Edge in like South Korea. It looks shit, to be honest. The models look low res, it's back to Rivals, you know, in terms of weapons and stuff. If that is what the next MMO Need for Speed game is, I'm gonna be very disappointed. Would I like to see one? I think the obvious answer is of course I would. You know, having like all the Need for Speed worlds in one area would be really, really cool. Like you could have Undercover's world, you could have Carbon's world, Most Wanted's world, everything all in one would be really, really cool. But then you've got to think of how much time that's going to take and all the other things in you know, in the middle of it. I don't know whether we're actually going to see it. I don't know. But would I like to see it? I think that's an obvious answer. Yeah, of course I would. Right, the next question comes from Kaboski, and his question is, what do you think would have happened to Need for Speed 2015 if it got more updates till this year? And what do you think the content would have been? Right, so I'm going to separate this question into 2 parts. The consequences of having more content and what the actual content would have been and stuff. So the consequences would have easily been Need for Speed 2017 is not going to be as strong. Obviously, if they carried on doing updates and if they carried on making updates for Need for Speed, they have less manpower to make the next Need for Speed game. So I'm going to say that the consequences would have been pretty strong, and also they were free updates. They're not getting any money, at least not from, you know, like DLC prices at least. All the money they're getting is either from EA funding them or sales. You know, they're not getting any money to make the DLC, so I'm not even sure if the DLC would have been particularly amazing if it carried on for all this time. In terms of what I would have liked to see, I would have liked to see airbags. I think a pink slips update could have been really cool. I think, you know, more customization as a whole, more wide bodies, more rims, all that kind of stuff. More modes, cops and robbers would have been cool. You know, basically everything I talked about in my Need for Speed 2017 wishlist videos, essentially. Maybe a map expansion, but again, you've got to think monetary-wise, have they got enough to do that? There's a lot of things I would have wanted, but in the end of the day, it's all pretty much stuff I want to see in the next Need for Speed game regardless. If you've seen any of my wishlist videos, that gives you a pretty good indication on what I would have liked to see. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome, stay safe, and peace.